Mayor Bettina, Councillor Ferguson, honored guest, Mr. Lou Ferrigno, police and Crime Stoppers family, media, citizens of Hamilton. Today is an exciting day. In 2013, Crime Stoppers of Hamilton launched a new campaign, one that would rejuvenate the program, inspire the uninspired, empower the powerless, the Hero Initiative. The message was simple, drawing a connection between tipsters and our favorite masked avengers from our youth. Don't be thought of as a rat, a fink, or a snitch. Instead, be a hero. During the campaign, we'd encourage citizens through social media to hashtag be a hero and to hashtag ask the question, are you a hero? Little did I know these same words were being echoed on Mr. Ferrigno's webpage, be a hero. When you open up his page, that's the first thing that you see. A simple and powerful message to children telling them that you can. A message meant to motivate, to inspire, and to persevere in the face of bullying. With our current involvement in the Hamilton Comic-Con and the obvious crossover and positive messaging with Lou, naturally a partnership was formed. But never in my wildest dreams did I think, when starting this campaign a year ago, I'd be here in the presence of the Incredible Hulk, Mr. Lou Ferrigno himself, one of my childhood superheroes and probably one of all time. Raised by New York City police officer or lieutenant, Lou has dedicated his life to the continued partnership and support of law enforcement agencies across North America. In February of 2006, Lou was sworn in as a Los Angeles County, California Reserve Sheriff. And in November 2010, he's a sworn member of the Maricopa County, Arizona Volunteer Sheriff's Office. Among many others across the US, Lou is finally getting his first Canadian badge. The badge number we've chosen is 8477, TIPS. This will forever link Lou to not only the Hamilton Police Service, but to Crime Stoppers organizations globally. Mr. Ferrigno, thank you so much for your support of law enforcement, for the encouragement and support that you provide children in the face of adversity. Lou, welcome to Hamilton.
Chief DeCare, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. As the mayor of the city of Hamilton, it is always my first duty to welcome guests. And what a guest we have today in Mr. Lou Ferrigno. Lou, welcome to the city of Hamilton. And I was telling Lou inside that Toronto thinks it's like Manhattan, right? Hamilton is like Brooklyn, where he grew up. And as a matter of fact, when I was a kid, my baseball team was the Brooklyn Dodgers with Duke Snider and Walter Alston and all those great guys. So we have those connections. We also have a really amazing guy in Hamilton. His name is Angelo Savelli. And Angelo Savelli is the world's greatest card collector. And there was a story that the Kentucky Derby had a card that was so expensive, it was $50,000 because it was an 1898 black jockey presented in a dignified way. So it was a very unique card, and its value was $50,000. So I went to Angelo and I said, Angelo, look at this card in the paper here. He says, I got 3 of them. And all of the Gretzky cards and everything that Lou ever did in print, Angelo has. So that's the kind of city we are. That's the kind of people we are. We're down to earth. We're tough. We're working class. And I have to say on a personal note that I was always a big fan of yours, of Arnold Schwarzenegger, because I was a 98-pound weakling, and I wish I had a body like that. But a lot of that, what I think we need to acknowledge with our guest, Mr. Ferrigno, is the dignity and quality and talent that he has brought to his physique, to his community, to encouraging better health and better physical fitness. He's quite a man. Now, you may know that I was the broadcaster for the Tiger Cats of the Toronto Argonauts, depending on which city I was working in, and Mr. Ferrigno tried out for the Toronto Argonauts in 1976. And they had a pretty good team. That was Mel Prophet and all these great players of the time. So who knows, if he had made the Argos, he might never have become the Hulk. So, may I say, Mr. Ferrigno, welcome to the City of Hamilton. We're so delighted to have you here. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's always tough to follow the mayor with that broadcasting background he has, and it was interesting. He brought out the fact that Lou was once a Toronto Argonaut, you know, the dreaded Argos, but he saw a lot of his way and went off to be a Hulk instead. But as chair of the Hamilton Police Services Board, I'm joined today with Madeline Levy, Irene Station, and Nancy DiGregorio. And Nancy, I know this is your last day on the job, and I just wanted to thank you for the effort and hard work you put into your 8 years on the Hamilton Police Services Board. But as board chair, it gives me great pleasure to meet one of our iconic superheroes and former Argo, Mr. Lou Ferrigno. Growing up in New York, he was an introverted boy. A severe ear infection in his early childhood caused Lou to lose a majority of his hearing, make his speech difficult for his peers to understand, and as a result, he was taunted. Hard to believe that the Hulk was ever taunted. Despite the bullying, Lou was taught to never feel sorry for himself. Instead, he turned to comic books and immersed himself in stories of superheroes, including the Hulk. Now his work with youth who are bullied and the messages he takes with him around the country are a true inspiration to all. Lou has dedicated his life to the continued partnership and support of law enforcement agencies all over North America. He holds an honorary deputy status in numerous states in the U.S. and will be honored today, as we heard earlier, with the badge number 8477, or TIPS, representing not only a link to our own Crime Stoppers community program, but internationally to programs around the world who can be contacted using the 800-222-8477 or TIPS number. This is a worldwide anonymous tip line. So today is very special for Crime Stoppers program, as well as the Hamilton Police Service. We are pleased to inform you that this is the first time a member of the public has been honored in such a way. So on behalf of myself and the other members of the Hamilton Police Services Board, welcome to our city and our service. Thank you.
Now call forward Chief Glenn DeCare.
Thank you very much, and good morning. In law enforcement, we often say that crime does not pay. However, with Crime Stoppers, we know that providing tips that lead to arrests and convictions, it actually does pay. And the productivity of Crime Stoppers of Hamilton is so very impressive. The one stat that continues to impress me is that since 2003, Crime Stoppers has led to taking over 150 guns off of our streets. The thousands of Crime Stoppers tips that we receive that come in from the people of Hamilton and surrounding area have led to thousands of arrests and millions of dollars of illegal drugs that have been seized from our neighborhoods. And this shows, ladies and gentlemen, the real and true value of the program. It is also a very significant return on investment that we expend to keep the program running in our community. Tips give us information, evidence that moves investigations forward, and allows us to make arrests that reduce victimization. And that's what we do, is we reduce victimization in our city. Crime Stoppers of Hamilton is a true success story. And our trophy case is overflowing. And I would like to acknowledge that the hulking Greg Slack got the provincial nod this year as the Crime Stoppers Coordinator of the Year. It is that same hulking Greg Slack that brought us the Hammertown Hero and the campaign that we see now unfolding in our city. It is Greg, in fact, who has brought us the Hulk himself, Lou Ferrigno. Mr. Hulk, there is no doubt that you joining us today will help to increase the awareness of Crime Stoppers. It will increase the tips which eventually, through those tips, will make our city a safer place. And it is my pleasure to invite you to the podium now, where I will swear you in as an honorary constable of the Hamilton Police Service. Lou? Please raise your right hand. I, Lou Ferrigno,
I, Lou Ferrigno,
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will be loyal to Canada
that I will be loyal to Canada,
and that I will,
that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve the peace,
preserve the peace,
prevent offenses,
prevent offenses,
and discharge my other duties
and discharge my other duties
as an honorary police constable
as an honorary police constable,
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and according to the law.
and according to law.
And whereas I will not disclose
And whereas I will not disclose
any information
any information
obtained by me in the course of my duties
obtained by me in the course of my duties
as an honorary police constable,
as an honorary police constable,
except as required
except as authorized
and required by law. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome to our
Thank you. Thank you.
There's your oath of office too.
Okay.
Say a few words. Say a few words. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to the Chief of Care and Mayor Bettini. Anyway, I guess I'll never get a ticket again. I came to the right location. Boy, I got married. We should do this every day. I want to thank also a good friend of mine, Chris Dabrowski, the promoter of the Comic-Con this weekend to make this happen. And let's give him a big, big hand. You know, I was mentioned earlier that my father was the NYPD lieutenant for 26 years. When I was a little kid, my dad had to qualify maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So one time he took me to the gun range, and he brought the target close to him. He was using a revolver at the time. So I remember I was watching him shooting. I was always fascinated because he always radiated confidence, leadership. So he shot the target, I think it's about 5 or 4 shots. Then he brought the target close to us. And when you look at it, there were 2 holes in the head and 2 holes in the chest. He said, "You ever misbehave, the same will happen to you." That's why I became a police officer. And you know, for the last 10 years, I've been involved being a deputy sheriff for the Los Angeles Sheriff Department and San Luis Obispo. I do a lot of search and rescue and also boat patrol, but I see what's happening, that we have so many problems, especially now with law enforcement dealing with the Homeland Security, because there's so many emphasis today had to do with drugs, sex, and violence, because the young kids today, you know, playing video games, being bullied, and resorting to drugs because they have a hard time to express and communicate. That's why the beautiful example about this department today, which you have, is you call the earning the public trust, community policing. That would make a great a city, especially talk about everything, because we cannot do it without you people. We need your trust. We're the first responders, and it's important to have that communication. If you have any problem, please don't hesitate. Communicate with the police department, because they are not trained just as leaders. Although they background, we're trained as also CPR. We're trained with leadership. We're teaching how to deal with anger, assault, especially bullying, because my whole life I was bullied. And it's funny, I do a lot of issue with bullying, because bullying sometimes has nothing to do with the victim, it has to do with the bully himself, because he's the one that has the issue. And also, it's important because it also leads to serious accidents, like it could be like death, rape, anger. And that's why the community here, I understand they're doing a great job, especially dealing with bullying and the bystander, because my life as a kid being bullied, that's why I became who I am today, because as a young child, I had difficulty speaking. I had difficulty communicating. because children do not have the psychological defenses to defend themselves. So in my situation, I would keep everything inside of me, refrain from everything. So I released my anger from working out, bodybuilding, weight training. That became now the huge part of our society. So I've learned to express my anger through weight training. Now, if I had the knowledge that I had today, like you people had today, I would have dealt with the bullying situation much earlier. I got beaten up a lot. And those days, if I came home and told my father I had a beating, he would give me another beating because he said, you need to defend yourself. So I grew up in a tough neighborhood. But I've learned over the course of the years, it's all about that open communication. Don't be afraid to speak. Like you parents here, if you have children that are being bullied, please have an intervention, have a meeting, talk about the situation, about the bullying, because it's not just children. It could be a school teacher, it could be any kind of adult. And I must say that I'm really, really excited to be here because I know this is Canada's Steel City, and I want to wish you all the luck. Thank you so much for coming. I love you. My pleasure.
That is Lou Ferrigno. We've known him for years as the Incredible Hulk. Now he is an honorary Hamilton police constable. He was on Morning Live a little bit earlier this morning. Really, really nice guy. And he, by the way, if you want to meet him in person, will be at Hamilton Comic Con at the Hamilton Convention Center tomorrow from 10 till 6.